I don't know if you've had connected with Oscar Fuentes, the Biscayne poet who works in the library system. I think he would be really eager to have a conversation with you about that. They're currently in production is a documentary in partnership with Oscar Fuentes and director producer Aaron Glickman called Miami Poetry City. And it's a chronicle documentary of Miami as this innovative poetry community for the last 40 years. So they've been for the last I think almost like 10 months or so, been conducting interviews and really sort of chronicling this experience of Miami being so infused by poetry and poets finding safe haven here and the sort of like next chapter of the poet and author communities created here. So certainly I encourage you to reach out to Oscar Fuentes because that relationship, maybe there is a shot that can be sort of contrived of the Westchester branch and Richard Blanco there. I think there's so much hiding in plain sight that is just illuminates our poetic community and we've had a lot of writers and poets like really get notoriety elsewhere, but are from here or have deep ties here. And so, any way that we can sort of like plant a flag and have these conversations that are archiving Miami as a safe harbor for poets and writers, um, it should happen. And the library is such a phenomenal cultural partner, and O Miami is an embedded cultural partner with Miami-Dade Public Library. So would absolutely champion those portraits and that work, having new audiences through the library system.
So please think of us as a partner. That we do these interviews all the time. I've done over 500 interviews. Because of the format, I've got 10,000 video clips. And one of the things I want to do with them is, and I started working with Alberto Carvalho when he was superintendent of schools, is make these available to teachers to use in the classroom, to use as homework assignments. So an easy homework assignment is here's an interview with Richard Blanco, and here's 10 questions to answer in writing, or whatever the context would be. And I also know a woman named Denise Blumenthal, who was with WGBH in Boston for her whole career, and she created, I think it's called PBS Learning Media or something like that, Tom,
Hmm.
where they take PBS programs and package them for teenagers,
Hmm.
for teachers,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they're used all over the world.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think there's something like 100,000 modules that they have
Yep.
that have been
Yep. A
used by
lot of that
millions
is
of
up in the
people.
air regarding, I don't know what the status of that is because of the rescission of the CPB funding and the closure of the
Yeah,
Corporation for Public Broadcasting. A lot
yeah.
of that effort around extended learning from PBS was funded by the CPB. It was one of the first areas actually that was shut down by PBS when the rescission was taking place.
Hmm.
So, the stuff that's been created remains, right? But in terms of new material, I don't think the future is too bright for any of that.
Well, the bad news is that it's shut down. The good news is now I don't have any competition.
I suppose. Yeah.